Okay. Well, hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 13th podcast of here. Joining me on the panel is the OG squad, the one we started with. I have Aman. Aman, say hi.
Hey guys.
Hey, and there is Arnab, who finally took the time to wake up and play live. Arnab, say hi.
What's up, everyone?
Oh, he's a little too excited. And we have Rags, who will be streaming Fi. How do you say?
I think it's Fee. I mean, see, the developers say it's Fee. A lot of people say it's Fee. But yeah, so Fee 5.4. We're calling it Fee 5.4.
Fee 5.4. Okay, he's playing Fee 5.4. And yeah, if you notice, I wasn't there in the last podcast. And huge props to Aman for hosting that one. It's not easy hosting. He did a good job. I don't
did the best.
appreciate. yeah. I didn't appreciate the jabs. I was just being nice, Aman. So, never mind. Okay, I'll take the compliment and whatever. So, we're moving on right away with the topics. And as is tradition, I would like to do the housekeeping, which is loot boxes. And we have to do this. But something very serious happened in this week, especially with the legislative actually taking part and forcing ESRB to make regulate this the use of loot boxes in games. So ESRB actually came and did a public statement, which as usual helped nobody. Let me just read out this public statement so that we can discuss on it. So here it is. You may have noticed that we have been a little quiet on the topic of in-game purchases and loot boxes. But we have been listening. In fact, we have absorbed every tweet, email, Facebook post, and singing Telegram sent our way. And we have been working to develop a sensible approach to let gamers and parents know when a game offers the option to purchase additional content. Starting soon, ESRB will be assigning a brand new label to physical games called in-game purchases. This label, or as we call it, interactive element, will appear on boxes and wherever those games can be downloaded for all the games that offer the ability to purchase digital goods of premiums with real-world currency. This includes features like bonus levels, skins, surprise items such as item packs, loot boxes, mystery awards, music, virtual coins, and other forms of in-game currency, subscriptions, season pass, upgrades, example to disable ads, and more. We're also launching a new website called parentaltools.org to help raise awareness of helpful tools that parents can use to manage the amount of time or money those crafty kids can spend playing games. God, this is actually in the statement. This is the first step of many. We'll continue to discuss how to further enhance our rating system with publishers, developers, gamers, and especially parents. We'll continue to make adjustments as the need arises. Thank you all for your patience on this and your love for the games we rate. Guys, what do you take away from this thing? Firstly, Aman, why don't you start?
This was last week's news, I think, and while we discussed it I was discussing it with Arnab, but the thing is, while this is a nice step, it's still far from the solution. I understand that it's a progressive step compared to the fact that nothing.
The reason I'm saying this is because there's a lot more that happened in this week that I want to cover it. So continue, Aman.
Right. So, see, the thing is, while I understand that there are some things going on, I think the pressure still needs to be up, right? Rather than celebrating or even having hopes right now. I think this is more of a... See, they're telling you they're gambling with you right now than previously when they were not telling you, right? So that's definitely an appreciative step, but still long ways to go before we see actual change, I think. So it just should be interesting.
Tell me, finish it.
No, go on.
So Arnab, I want to talk to you this before, is that this feature especially, I feel that this helps nowhere because especially in this part where it says this includes features like bonus levels, skins, surprise items, music, virtual coins, and other forms of in-game currency. So according to this season passes, the loot box system in Star Wars Battlefront 2 and the DLC content that Witcher 3 released, which was the expansion packs, they both come under the same category under this statement, like in-game purchases. What do you think that solves?
This solves practically nothing, to be honest.
Right.
like how I see it, it's basically like, okay, so we are taking everything under one banner. And I can hear myself echoing, so that's weird, kind of. But we are taking everything under one banner, and that's kind of not how we are supposed to deal with it. Like, I understand their part in making this a streamlined process, but this should have been dealt with more, like, I don't know, responsibility and more intuition, I guess. I don't know the proper word, forgetting the proper word, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's again comes back to the same thing where they don't want to. Again, we have to like clear this. I'm getting my echo. Rats, can you like understand what's happening?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
no, but there's no echo in stream side. It's just you
Okay.
guys be echoing.
Good. Cool.
The stream
All
is
right.
gonna
No.
see the game freeze for a bit.
Okay, all good. So what I wanted to say basically was that we have to first clarify that when it comes to ESRB, these are the people who give the ratings to the games, right? But the thing we need to know is like most of the people have this sort of belief that ESRB really cracks down on the games and like produces harsh ratings on them, whereas this is not the case. Most of the ratings are pretty much catered very, very calmly in interests of the publishers. And this body was rather installed or created so that the government or the legislative does not have to, intervene when it comes to this. So the fact that this thing clearly says that ESRB has no interest in removing loot boxes, which obviously the developers don't want to do. So Rats, my question to you is, again, you see the legislative really like, again, this was the response that the legislative gave back immediately after this being announced. I suppose I forgot her name, Maggie Hassan, the US senator, says that while you did you just slapped another sticker onto it, this does not address the major issue of loot boxes actually predating these kids. What do you have to say to that, Rats?
Well, I'll be honest. Loot boxes can be pretty addictive. It kind of like wants. Again, it depends. See, addiction. It's like you gotta know when to stop. But if there's some incentive in said boxes that makes you want to get it, right? Then you're not gonna stop. You're definitely gonna wanna spend a lot of money towards that. So, I mean, yeah, you gotta find a way to kind of stop that, which is gonna be extremely hard. Like I like the steps that and the points that Aman has pointed out. Aman and Arnav both. So it's gonna be a long. It's gonna take a long time before we can tackle this issue and kind of like completely curb it. That doesn't require any government intervention.
Right. You said this very interesting thing about this. People wanted to spend more, and this is exactly what once the senator gave us a response, the president of ESRB, Pratisha Wan, gave back a letter to her, which basically says that we don't believe that loot box itself promotes gambling or anything like that. We have taken these stats and these casino clubs who say that loot boxes is not gambling. They're outright denying that loot boxes are gambling. They say that we believe that when parents are confronted with the fact that their kids actually have some games with in-app purchases, their major focus is that their kids should not be spending so much money. So 91% of people say that is a thing. So we've brought this broad spectrum rather than just focusing on loot box. It's such a weird way, Aman, to like just again club this, like their outright denial. And the fact that another game, there's going to be this game developer conference that's happening where I'm not kidding you. There is this roundtable which says that censorship is harming the removal of loot boxes is harming the voice of a game developer. Like with the people like claiming this as gaming disorder.
What censorship?
Yeah, and it's like they're actually crippling a developer voice in this. This
No.
is actually
What censorship?
the censorship, as in the censorship of loot boxes and in-app purchases. As this is actually, I'm not making this up. I can put the link down below.
I know what you're saying. Okay, right. See, one of the reasons why I think what's going on is that honestly, no one has an actual solution for the loot box problem. Even in places like America and Europe, see other podcasts like podcasts from Co-optional Podcasts, other things, people will regularly tell you vote with your wallet, right? That's the concept of the free market over there in America, at
Right.
least.
Right.
And that is because honestly, even they don't have an answer on how to stop the loot box mania
Completely.
really
Yes,
need
exactly.
to an extent, because you can make unlimited amount of money through something like IAPs, right, which is in-app purchases basically.
Right.
And developer conferences around the world today are less about making video games, making things that people want to play, and more about how you can make a product that you can earn money out of, and the various ways to earn money out of that set product. Right.
Right.
So it's obvious to see something like a panel come up which is defending loot boxes, but that's stupid. I think the bigger question is the fact that no one seems to understand how to stop the loot box thing, and terming it as gambling helps to an extent because it means it will be slightly regulated than before when it was not regulated at all. I think we all remember the CS:GO days and the, you know.
I know. I know.
Yeah, on this part, I would like to say that there is currently one thing that going on. I don't know if anyone knows this, but the CS:GO gambling has stopped, but there is a new player in town, and we all know which that is. It's PUBG. So there are
No.
sites like that still up.
So
Like
no. Let me put something very clear. CS:GO gambling hasn't stopped. It still exists, right?
Yeah,
People still.
still people gamble. They don't use the CS:GO items, so I don't know. It's like a weird bypass. Even I didn't understand it myself.
See,
But they use some
but,
point
but the
system.
thing is, yeah, but the thing is, given that it's at least to an extent regulated now, it's harder for random people to get entry, which is what is the important part of this discussion, right? As soon
Exactly.
as you uh, lower the barrier of entry to the point that 13-year-olds, 15-year-olds, kids can come in and vote and basically invest in the gambling with their parents' money or with money that they do not own. That is, I think, when the problem comes in. And we have several
And
examples of
this
similar
is a
things
very
happening.
interesting point you brought. Sorry to interrupt you, Aman. If you were saying,
Yeah.
I'll let you continue. So,
No,
okay, right. You brought this very interesting thing about like this thing being accessible to 13-year-olds, whereas this is something I want to bring out where the fact is this. It clearly says in this. We're also this statement. We're also launching a new website called Parental Tools to help raise awareness to the helpful tools that parents can use to manage the amount of time or money those crafty kids can spend playing games. Right now, this again
yeah,
like reminds me of that conversation with you, Aman. Like back then, we talked about the shooting thing, right, where we have to actually focus on parenting and stuff like that. It's very similar now. If you see how flawed my argument was, because come on, like as a parent, you can you. This is a good step while parenting. Parents need to know more about the topic,
yeah.
but a guy cannot monitor his child
So
24/7.
let me
And
put it this way.
yeah,
The people furthering the argument that it is the parents' responsibility of making sure that their kids are not buying loot boxes are the same people who are making the loot boxes, right?
right,
They are
exactly,
creating the problem and they're giving you the solution and they're telling you, here, go about it. Whereas the problem is earning them money, right?
right.
And this is, without say going into much, this is similar problems as to what the gun violence and NRA is happening in US, right? And it's in some similar lines.
Very,
Uh,
very similar actually.
yeah, and
okay,
right now,
yeah. One thing I would like to say that you said that this is like for to control the amount of time or money they spend. One, I don't think that the time part should be like up for anyone to control. The money I
see,
can
see, see,
understand.
see, again, Arnab, you have to understand something. The time and money control part is coming from the people who are creating the problem. It is not an actual solution. It is a scapegoat of a solution that is being provided to you so that
It's
you.
yeah, it's again deviating from. It's making sure that you're deviating from the problem at hand, so that you like people are
Yeah,
all at bay. This is
yeah.
what it is.
And what I see as a long-term solution is just raise that barrier of entry. You don't allow the people less than 18 years old, I think, into casinos, right?
But yeah, exactly. Yeah, but then
So
yeah, like the yeah. Continue. Sorry, you were saying something. Yeah, continue.
no, I think that is where the long-term solution is going towards, and that is nice. Like we will eventually not see a lot of IAPs in kid-friendly games, but rather in um, again, and this is very very hard to expect, like imagine or predict, but generally that is the direction it should go in. And if there should be a verification process that if you're lower the age of barrier of entry, you shouldn't be allowed to buy things off of the market, because you will obviously be abusing it. And understand something, the consumer isn't the one abusing the system. The people who are
Yeah.
creating the system is making it in such a way that it is easy to abuse it, right?
Right.
So
Aman, I'll have to kind of disagree with you with the fact that this is where we see this going. Because clearly, unlike casinos or something, the target audience of people who play these multiplayer games rather than which have purchases range somewhere between 15 to 21. So if this law were to pass where you were to ban people below age of 21, these games are dead.
So
Okay.
understand something. The ban will not happen today. It
Yeah,
will
it's not gonna
happen
happen.
maybe say 7-8 years later down the line, because this is just the starting wave against IPs, and IPs have just come up. They will definitely make
Right.
money for the next 5-6 years, right?
Yeah.
It's also not a very new model. It's a model that's been around since MMORPG days, right? But back then it was less abused than it
Yeah,
is.
it's pretty much like since like Pokemon cards were introduced.
Yes,
And
it
it's
is
pretty
more
much that.
right now because of, again, as you said, the target audience. But the target
Yeah.
audience will not be the same age 7-8 years later. So, and back then, people who have experienced how abusive the system can be, I'm pretty sure they'll be the ones rising up to it.
Yeah, so this is you brought this very interesting point, which will lead to the last thing that I want to ask you. Is because of this, there have been people like Chris Lee and all this who, from a legislative point, are immediately like taking a stand on this, and because ESRB is like pretty much proving that they're not like going to involve themselves, it's the legislative assembly that is going to like come down, right? And what do you think that could imply? Because as it is, there was this one time where many departments started stating like this whole controversy about video games being violent, which proved to be false. And in that time we were right. But when this thing happens and when this thing is brought into the news media, they have substantial evidence against video games, like with the whole thing about this thing predating.
I understand, but by that time, I don't think. Back when the first video game violence debate started, back then video games were really in danger. Today, video games
Right.
companies are multi-billion-dollar companies. I don't think that's going to be much of an issue.
Yeah, especially in a capitalist country like
Yeah,
America.
yeah, yeah.
That's
The capitalist
exactly.
society in general. If you see globalism, like right now, you can sell a product that's on the internet on any country in the world. It doesn't matter where you are setting up, right? As long as you have a market base to sell, and that's always going to exist right now for gaming, from here onwards at least.
Pretty much. That's pretty much going to be it. Arnab and Rats,
Nope.
Did I just cut off?
No, you didn't cut.
no,
Yeah.
you didn't. You just did not say anything.
Yeah, no, I have
Oh,
nothing
so
to
I
add
couldn't
on
hear
to that.
anything, but okay. Yeah, but I think that basically covers all of it. I just wish that there, like these people who are at the administrative level would actually, like, I don't know, properly put their thoughts into places that actually require it and not just throw around these powers just because they have it. That's about it, I guess.
That's pretty much that's a brilliant way to sum it up. Regardless, this we can all agree that this is the start of something big, and it'll be interesting to watch how this goes, right? Because it's obviously going to get a lot more interesting.
How it unravels.
So the second topic we move on is on Overwatch, all right, and basically a new character that has been added. And pardon me if I'm going to mispronounce her name, Brigetta, Brigetta.
Brigetta.
Brigetta. Okay, fine,
I think it's
Brigetta.
No, I don't
So,
think.
I think it's
yeah. If anybody feels the right pronunciation, please correct me. Apparently, yeah, she has been seen quite before this, like a Marvel tease, where you've seen her in a couple of videos now. But now she's a fully playable character as a hero, and Aman will tell me. Like the interesting part is she's filling a major gap in the Overwatch as a
So-
supplement tank kind support DPS kind of person.
So, okay, let me put it this way. You have played a lot of MMORPGs, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Imagine the Paladin archetype
Right,
Off
right,
tank.
in
right,
any
right.
game. Now, imagine putting it into an FPS game. Doesn't make
Okay,
sense,
so-
right?
No, it does not actually.
But Blizzard did it properly. Like they put it, and they put it in, they put her in the exact category as you would find in a traditional uh, um, MMORPG, in the sense that she is a support and a tank sort of mixed character, right? And it's so
Right.
interesting. If you go
Right.
through her abilities, like she is, I think Ratul can further on
Yeah.
this information, but like
Yeah, when you're done, Aman.
she basically she stops any dive composition. So in Blizzard there are lots of dive compositions, like people like Tracer, Diva, Genji, right? So she
Right.
has this attack where she can take out her shield and she use shield bash. Like she lunges forward and hits someone and they get stunned. So if you are any of those characters uh, that is based around going in fast and then disrupting the enemy team, this is a very big counter to those kinds of players, which is very nice.
Okay, so dovetailing of that, just after the announcement came the video that the character has already been nerfed. All right.
No, no,
So it's like
that's common. That's
that's very
that's
common.
common
Like
because
That's typical Blizzard right there.
Yeah,
but
that
just
is
let me.
typical business.
This is my question to you. Like, certain of these nerves are like include like there's going to be a bit of cooldown, like bit of more gap between her shield bash, and like there's going to be a more higher cap on her vertical mobility, and cooldowns have been lessened. Regardless of all this, what do you think her inclusion is going to like affect the gameplay of Overwatch, in your opinion?
Well-
and how would you approach this?
Alright, so I'm gonna be honest. When the game, when the hero comes out, the login servers are gonna be filled because everyone wants to get a piece of Bridget or Bridget, whatever.
Right.
Let's call her
Brigida.
Brigida. Oh,
Brigida.
let's just call her Tob's daughter. She's actually Torbjorn's daughter according to the lore.
That's a caller Paladin.
Yeah, Paladin. Let's call her the Paladin. So this Paladin-like character, so she's a support hero, but she doesn't have to necessarily be that support. She can also act in.
Is she ranged or is she straight up?
Melee.
She's melee, but
but
she
like-
has
Right.
ranged abilities that also fare her pretty well, as she can basically do.
So she can be a DPS character as well.
Not a DPS,
No.
more like an off tank. In case if your tank is taking
Yeah.
damage,
Okay.
like let's say for example, the dive composition, as Aman mentioned, actually focuses on dismantling your primary tanks who are in the front line, right?
Right.
It's basically you either dive at the tank and destroy the front line and then push immediately forward, or you just dive to the backline supports who are healing the team. Like that's how the dive composition works. So with Brigade, with the Paladin, it could be very different. So it could work like in case if, for example, the dive composition comes in and she can actually fill in the role of an off tank while keeping that heal intact, while supporting her team in the backline. So giving them that extra second. Since Overwatch is a fast-paced game, every second counts.
Right.
You can't, even if you slip up on
Right.
1 second, you're screwed, right? So
Oh,
I'd
okay.
say that once this hero is out, I actually want to see how certain teams, like even in the Overwatch League, are planning on utilizing this hero. I want to know what their scenes are, but I think it might even form like a meta composition. Like a new composition altogether in the meta that might be focused more around Brigade, like the Paladin, as well as Reinhardt, and even and knowing Blizzard, they are heavily lore centric. But that means even their gameplays,
Exactly.
they even kind of like add that factor where these characters would do well together. Like for example,
Right.
if you take let's take let's take Anna and Soldier. These two guys in the lore are good friends,
Right.
and they actually have a really good combo
Right.
with their ultimate. If you combine Anna's nano boost with Soldier's
Oh,
tactical,
it's a tag team kind
Exactly.
of thing.
So,
If in load
okay.
you're close to each other, your combos together will benefit in the game as
Exactly.
well.
So
That's brilliant.
I don't know if
Yeah.
that's like Blizzard's intentional way of linking the lore to the mechanics, which is pretty cool in my opinion. So
No, I think that's very close because even League of Legends did that with the new Rakan and Zaya thing.
yeah, I read about
And
that.
so their combos like go hand in hand as well. So this is pretty much intended, if I'm not.
And it's not just Anna Soldier, it's also Anna Reaper as well as Anna Reinhardt. Like all these guys, they have some kind of connection. So this paladin.
Wait, Reinhardt is supposed to be the godfather of this brigade,
Yes,
right? Or
yes.
something?
So
Yeah.
the lore of this.
Also the mentor.
Yeah,
So
mentor.
okay, by the way, if you've seen the Reinhardt Overwatch short, she's there. She's there.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. I saw that. Yeah.
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 So again, my question. Sorry, Rats, you were continuing.
Yeah, so
I'm
I
sorry
mean,
to
if you
interrupt you.
if you take it like a quick lore friendly, like what's the scene? She is one of Tob's 7 kids, I think.
7
yeah,
kids.
Tob actually has 7 kids. If you look at the comics, they show him, his wife with 7 kids, and she's like the oldest out there. She also was like the armor smith for Reinhardt during his days in, and Reinhardt was kind of like her role model and mentor. So she wanted to. She doesn't want to always be that backline support. She wants to be in the front line. Hence, she's a support hero who's also possible in the front line. Hence, the lore connection to the mechanics over there as well.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Actually, the storytelling is powerfully
Exactly, and
delivered.
Blizzard knows how to deliver it properly. Like Blizzard knows their shit.
One more doubt I have, right? So, do you think this is a character for some high elo players who are just looking to fill, or more of a team? This seems like a more team player kind of character rather than
No, this is more along the lines of easy to medium character. From what I have. Yeah, this is not a high skill cap hero. This is more along the lines of, again, even Reinhardt isn't a high skill cap hero, which is very interesting to see, by the way.
I like Reinhardt, man. Like, I love that guy. He's my favorite. Continue, whatever you say.
But if you see the 2 melee characters in Overwatch, Ratan, there are only 2 melee characters with Bridget, right?
2 melee characters, as in like in the combo.
Overwatch.
Oh, you're talking about support characters. Yeah.
No, in general, like there's Reinhardt and then there's Bridget.
No, I mean there's even actually, yeah, I've never really thought about that. Thought about that.
So
I think
it's very interesting to see. Interesting to see.
Only Reinhardt and Bridget. Yeah.
Okay, so me now, for, like closing this off, like we do with football. If with the inclusion of this captain in your roster, what would both of you tell me? What would your ideal team be like if you want to play now?
Yeah, I don't know, but like Bridget is someone you want if you're on the defense team. I think if you're on defense team, if you're with someone like Bastion, she will destroy any type comps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like for me, I have 2 in mind. One for attack and one for defense. So my defense would be pretty much something similar to Amun's, like have a Reinhardt and like 2 shield based 2 tanks, your normal Reinhardt Zarya combo with the shield and all that. And you've got Brigade as the semi-support kind of role, a very powerful healer like Anna, and maybe a DP, a guy like Torbjorn, and another hit scan DPS like Soldier or McCree. For the attack offense, especially this is on payload maps, Reinhardt Orisa Brigade, a Genji, a Tracer, and Mercy or a Zenyatta. Like one of these, like for the high DPS.
Why Mercy when I believe she can also like heal and stuff? Like,
because Brigade can also heal and give armor, but compared to primary healers like Mercy and Anna, I don't think her healing output can be a lot. Like I have never really played the hero to know the exact stats, but I think from the skills itself, she can provide armor and Mercy can kind of heal that up. Basically she's like that extra thing, just giving people.
She's the jack of all trades, master of none, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that is also how people who have been playing her in PTR have been describing her. She's apparently okay at a lot of things and not very good at anything.
Exactly, yeah.
Right. So which is also a good balance since she's an entry level character, I think.
That's what I wanted to know. She's more of an entry level character for a person to find out where he fits best, and then basically define their role later on.
Exactly.
That's the kind of character you basically would want.
I mean, see, I wouldn't be surprised if some extremely high skill player takes her and plays it as a DPS, because I've seen a lot of people do that with characters like Lucio, Mercy, Anna, Zenyatta, and all that. Like I've actually seen streams of people do that.
She's pretty much like a midfielder. Anyway, so I believe Arnab has no strong opinions on this.
I'm just happy to play the game as it is. It's just gonna do anything. Like, yeah.
Just have to
Pleb.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay, Aman. You can have your opinions about that. Like,
Arnab wins at games where you have to just grind all day and you don't need a
But
life.
he has not won World of Warcraft yet. Nani?
I'll need
He
you guys
just
to
started.
flame Arnab. I need you guys to flame Arnab for 1 minute more. Just a second.
wait, what?
I think he's going off or somewhere. Yeah, he left. He left us. But interesting word. Wait. When are we starting our World of Warcraft streams again?
Oh yeah, I'm back on my team.
We can do it tonight if you.
Anyway, what did I miss?
That's
Yeah,
all.
you didn't miss anything. So yeah,
Not all.
what?
Are we going to do a World of Warcraft stream
I don't
tonight?
mind.
You're not doing it without me. You're not doing it without me.
Yeah.
So, forget that. Okay.
Oh lol.
Anyway, yeah. So this rounds off this topic. I mean, Brigada, interesting addition. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how the meta goes. And yeah, looking forward to whatever Overwatch does next. Now we want to next topic, which I feel is a personal attack on my soul. All right. So Square Enix has been sitting on the property, which is Chrono Trigger, considered to be one of the greatest games of all time ever in the history of mankind across all parallel dimensions and whatever, right? And they just released their latest. The moment I found out about it, right, that they have finally released the port to PC, I was ecstatic. I shared it. Everybody
I can-
immediately. This was received.
I
by
can
the-
confirm that Udit
Yeah.
will not, contain his excitement.
Right, and this was again. And I was not the only one on the Steam. It immediately hit like top sellers immediately. And the video, if you look at the the trailer that these guys showed, it's like they were all into it. Rats, you've
Yeah,
seen
I've
the trailer,
it. Like,
right?
they went full anime mode on that, dude. Like holy hell, like
they were like, yeah, the dream is real. The thing has come back. Meet the dream team, the creators of Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Dragon Ball, all coming together to deliver this brilliant experience that you will tell is a timeless classic. It was a mobile port, straight up, lazy, nothing done to it. The funny part is the mobile port was a bad port of the Nintendo DS port, which was a port of the PS1 port, which was a port of the original SNES version. It went through like several levels of bastardization before it released on PC, and it looks so ugly. All right, like you can see the icons in the buttons. They have that Android touch to it, like the ones you press with your
Yeah.
hand. They didn't even bother to change
Wow.
that for the PC.
oh wait, as in those that interface
Yeah,
that
seriously?
interface is still there?
Yeah, the interface of Android is there. The interface of mobile phone is there.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
just bad. That is just
That
sad.
is. This is not the only thing that frustrates me. All right. First of all, and the pricing is ridiculous. It's $15, $800. All right. So it's not. It's definitely not cheap, but it's not costly enough as well that you won't consider that to buy it because it's Chrono Trigger after all. And you're like, hey, $800, I'm gonna buy it. Oh fuck, it sucks. You scammed me. And the worst
no,
part
correction,
is
Udit, it's
Square Enix-
900, 899.
$8.99.
That's still a lot of money.
Terrible. So yeah, that's still
You
a lot of
can
money.
buy 90 packets of chips with that.
Definitely, and I would prefer to buy that
Yeah,
instead. This is me saying as a
Food,
foreign
man,
entrepreneur.
food.
So look at this. Anyway, look at this. Square Enix, 4-5 years ago, when people were fighting for a sequel to Chrono Trigger, they were like, they were interviewed saying like, yeah, a lot of people want sequel to the Chrono Trigger, and this guy was like, that's not what the fans tell me. That's not what the sales tell me. The ports haven't really been doing well, and I'm like, I don't understand.
Oh, hello? Yeah,
you hear me?
you cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cut off. But yeah, you were ready to rage out. Let's go.
Yeah, I was ready to rage out. You say that Square Enix says that this is the port that is not selling well, and your answer to that is like the one platform that can actually make your game go viral, Steam. You release a lazy mobile port on that, and then obviously it's going to bomb, which it does. You see that most of the negative reviews, Raz, I believe you've
I
seen
read
the reviews.
best reviews I've
Yeah.
ever read in my entire life. Best funny reviews ever, dude. People are creative.
Donald Trump did review. He's like, yeah, this is why I spent $3 billion into ensuring that we have the best ports or something like that in a country.
Okay. By the way, just to give you guys a little context on who are listening. So there's an account called Donald Trump on Steam right now going around reviewing games. And they're
And it's
hilarious.
just the best thing. It's just the best thing. You have to check.
Ultimate
Yeah.
meme material.
Yeah. Anyway,
Right.
continue.
Yeah, so Rat, you've seen some of the reviews. Right?
I
You'll be
have.
able to tell which one was your favorite.
Nice. 0.1 hours played.
Yeah.
Nice. And that was like that was one of the positive reviews. The negative review.
Yeah, it was the
The negative review is, sir, I got scammed by France. Fraud. That was the best. Like, I got scammed.
right. So people are mad, and this is what I don't. So obviously, these guys are going to see this as and attribute it to the popularity of the game.
Oh, Udit, I think you cut off again.
Bring this into light is because
Hello? Udit? Am I cutting off or is Udit cutting off? Aman, Arnab? Hello?
yeah.
Hello.
Hey,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
here. Hello.
Alright, I
Yeah,
don't know who
so you're-
disconnected. I think I disconnected.
You disconnected. Just
Oh,
check the
right.
stream, no?
Yeah, one
Yeah.
second. Gotta alt tab because Faye doesn't have borderless windows, so I can't alt tab immediately. I gotta wait for like 2 seconds. But yeah, no, so far there wasn't any problem from my end of the stream. I think my Discord must have just had some hiccups.
Has been acting really. So what I really wanted to say was Square Enix has been sitting on countless properties like Xenogears, like Vagrant Stories, like many of these timeless classics, and they have really, really good IPs as well. So just like the one with Life is Strange, just like Tomb Raider, just like Hitman, and even the recent Nier Automata. But these are the kind of bad decisions that they keep making, which makes them shoot their own foot. And this is not the example. Even in Final Fantasy 15, where Tetsuya Nomura was completely attached, they removed him between without even his consent to make him work on Final Fantasy 7. And they had to get some Hajime Tabata to continue Final Fantasy 15, which changed into completely different direction. And it took 10 years to make because it was in that kind of development hell.
Oh, wow.
I think you raged enough for everyone.
Yeah, you covered the entire thing for us. It's like thanks.
You know, in
I
the
have-
latest episode of Dragon Ball Z, you could feel Jiren's you know how
Oh god, I think I'm lagging. I don't know if I'm lagging or if my headset is broken.
and then it takes Jiren's blast away from him, and he's watching what the fuck happened. I was like that for now.
No, whatever Square Enix just does with Chrono Trigger does nothing but trigger me, all the time. No pun
Wow.
intended. Whatever.
Oh my. Yeah, sure. No pun intended. After he just says the pun.
Never mind. Okay, so pretty much okay. That was me venting. That was the 5 minutes of Udit venting. All right, everybody. We'll move on to the next topic, which is something I really want to make a thing of first month. So NPD is the national. Wait, I forgot his name. What I tell you, it was that's National Purchase Diary.
National Purchase Diary.
So this is something I want to do because every first week of every month they release the research and they're basically a research and market history firm, and they release all the statistics of the month prior to that. So if it's March, they release the statistics for January. And I wanted to make this a regular thing because it gives a good perspective of whatever is happening in the American industry as far as the gaming is concerned. So January, according saw a video game sales in US up 59% to $1.1 billion. This has been the best January for video game industry since 2011. And Arnab, do you know which two games led that way?
Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter World, and second was Dragon Ball Fighter. Which is
It
still
was a
available in
PUBG?
India. No, it wasn't PUBG. It was Dragon Ball Fighter Z and Monster Hunter World. These two were
Get
two
wrecked,
and one.
nerds.
Yeah. Dragon Ball is back in popularity, guys.
Okay.
Except if you're in India, in which case it's not there.
And then
So,
sucks to be you and us.
right, that's a whole topic again. And another interesting thing is the hardware. Now, video game hardware sales grew up 119% compared to the last year, which is $278 million. This is not interesting. Not interesting in itself is that there were over 1 million hardware units sold last month, which has been the highest number since 2011. Nintendo Switch was the highest, most sold console Although PS4 outsold it in terms of revenue because I think it was a costlier one. But the best part is that the gap between the top selling platform and the third best selling was only 3%. Like PS4 and Xbox are just 3% away. So despite whatever Xbox went through, it has caught up. This has been a pretty good month for Xbox as well, right? So this is the perspective. People are saying like, mobile is taking over, console is dying. Does not seem to be the case. Rats, Arnab, Aman, what do you think?
So, if anyone knows me, I'm not very much for mobile game. Not because I am against the games that exist, but because of two reasons. There are very few good games available in mobile that give the same amount of, or in the same amount of any genres of games that are present on consoles or PC right now. And the second is the fact that there's a very big limitation when it comes to interface.
Yeah,
Straight up.
mobile.
And the
If you,
third thing is like it's very easy to just still earn a lot of money out of it in mobile game.
no, yeah, you can earn money if the agenda is to earn money. Then yeah, mobile currently is one of the,
The larger booming
I would
markets.
say, yeah, larger booming. But you have to understand, like even for mobile, if you look into the, so a lot of people see that mobile gaming industry is making money, but they don't go into the details of that, which is only like 5% to 10% of mobile game development companies make money,
Right.
and they're making 90% of the money of the entire mobile gaming company, of the entire mobile gaming development industry, right? That is not a healthy competition, I would say. So if you're joining any company out which is not that 5-10%, you're not making
Right.
any money straight up. So that is a perspective that I don't think a lot of people take
As a
when
person
they.
who's worked in a mobile game company, like say that you're on the right track there.
Yeah. So I will very much disagree when people say that mobile is taking over PC gaming and console gaming. I would rather say mobile gaming is a good companion to both PC gaming and console gaming.
Definitely.
It's something to take on the fly. You're traveling,
Yeah,
when
there are really good games like Monument Valley and brilliant
Yeah,
games there on the mobile
but
platform as
again,
well.
even something like Monument Valley, like consider the game, right? Let's take it as an example. It's nothing compared to what you get on PC and consoles, straight up.
True,
Right?
yeah.
Definitely, straight up, not true.
So yeah, I don't see mobile gaming taking over the PC gaming industry or the console gaming industry anytime soon. It's just numbers right now, and obviously mobile has more numbers because a lot of mobile is a necessity for every single
Yeah.
person today,
So it's a wider
and
reach.
they just have to go. Yeah, and they just have to go to the app store if they're bored and download a single game for them to show up in the mobile gaming industry statistics, which
Exactly.
quite inaccurate because they might not download a lot of games and never play them. So,
Pretty
but I would, looking at statistics, she would count as a potential customer.
Customer, definitely. And these stats pretty much prove that the console market is thriving more than ever. So the
Yeah.
gaming is in no ever at all. Yeah.
Yeah, console and
PC,
PC
definitely.
market, if you see independently, forget the fact that mobile gaming even exists. They are growing at a much faster pace than they were growing, say, 5 years, even 10 years back.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is
That's
very
brilliant.
good news, by the way.
Very, very good news, actually. So now I'm going to get this to the top 20 games in the US, and I'll want you to predict. Done the top 1 and 2, the kings of the thing, Monster Hunter World and Dragon Ball Fighters. What do you think is the third one?
PUBG.
Fortnite.
Call of Duty World War II.
What?
Call of Duty World War II. Yeah.
It's even worse.
America,
PUBG.
as always, America disappointing the rest of the world.
Hey, come on, you gotta have your guns though. PUBG is number 4. PUBG is number 4. Number 5 is GTA 5.
Ah,
Still.
Yeah, I mean that.
It's still there.
I mean, GTA 5 is that one game that people cannot get tired of, even right now. Like, if not just the people, like, even if you look at the sales and stuff, people still want to play GTA 5. Like, it is one of the most popular games in this country too. It's very popular, even though it's a game that came out initially at 2012 for the console, right? Everybody just
13.
Yeah.
Oh,
How
2013.
rich is Rockstar right now? How rich is Rockstar right now?
So as far as I remember, Rockstar made like some $1 billion last year also. I think 7 or
Right.
Yeah,
something like that.
They made
Right,
like
just out of that one game that they released years ago.
My question is, when Red Dead Redemption 2 comes, will it be above GTA 5 or will it be
No,
I don't
GTA
think so, because like
I will disagree actually. I see Red Dead Redemption actually defining. I have certain myths that I create for myself, right? And if I have to say that there are 3 legendary game developers in the world right now, they would be Blizzard, Valve, and Rockstar. I know Valve is still.
No Naughty Dog on the list?
Not Valve. I'm sorry, not Valve.
I know.
Where is
People will
Where is
disagree.
Naughty Dog?
So again, I am Naughty Dog makes single player games, right? I'm talking about companies that have made variety of.
yeah, everything.
They have been Valve simply to 2 of the most popular. Like people disregard, people get really awestruck when they see games like GTA 5, but they're not that different. Like CS:GO and Dota 2 have been making similar amounts of money for a longer time, and with much less development costs. You have to understand that.
Yeah, but
right?
like you can't. Dude, GTA 5 has this like crazy helicopter. You can just play
I-
into a.
No, I know. I mean, GTA 5 is up there, but like all these 3 game developers that I mentioned repeatedly break barriers, which is very interesting to watch.
Yeah, but
like,
okay, we're going
when-
back from the topic that I said. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 and GTA 5, right? Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to have online mode, but it's not going to have like a plane crashing into a into
It's
a
going to
building.
have trains.
Why do I keep making
I
that
am-
joke? I should
listen,
stop
I
making
am-
Anyway, like yeah.
I am betting anything it'll have trains like PUBG
Yeah.
train style. You have to drop off the train and run and get a gun and shoot.
It'll have to do something to compete with GTA 5 itself, right? And then online, it'll have to do something very weird. Looking forward to that. Yeah, dude, it's just gonna be hilarious to see like 2 of Rockstar's games still doing well in top 10 of these things. And then next, moving on, is NBA 2K18, which was insidious for its DLC practices. By the way, you could not even change the hair. Forget changing hair color. You'd have to do there were microtransactions for you to change the hair color, but you could not even see how the hair looked unless you purchased it. But it's
What?
still in the 6. Yeah, that's how. Like, if you wanted to change your hair color or something, you had to pay for it. But you could not see how it looked on your character until you already paid for it. These were the kind of weird things that were there in NBA 2K18. But it's number 6. Now is what comes interesting. 7, 8, 9. 7 Super Mario Odyssey. 8 Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. 9 Mario Kart 8. And you know what? The best part. These are all physical sales. Nintendo did not give its sales for digital copies.
Imagine if this game was
Interesting.
given digitally, that it would have probably broken top 3.
Yeah, so these could have been higher than PUBG and GTA 5.
Yeah, and also these games, I mean, as far as I know, I don't think they have multiplayer capability, right?
Yeah, they don't have. They have single player experiences, except I think Super Mario Odyssey does have. Okay? Legend of Zelda is the only one with single player ones, which is completely single player. Then again, though, Switch is only a platform that just turned a year old last week, right? You have to take that also into account.
But you also have
And
to,
it's still
you also have to take into account that we did have this in the previous discussion that Nintendo Switch was like the most hottest selling console.
Yeah, definitely. This is just adding to that how powerful this console is and how like crazy the single player games are still going, despite people saying that they are dead. Legend of Zelda still number 8. Yeah, still number 8. Still number 8.
I
Not
will
even
be one of the people who admits that I was a naysayer when Twitch came out, but holy shit, that took off. Like,
yeah, it's killing it. It's definitely it. And look at the people it's above. All right, number 10 is Madden NFL. Number 11 is Star Wars Battlefront 2. Number 12 is Assassin's Creed Origins. Then below that is UFC 3, Rainbow Six Siege, FIFA 18, Dragon Ball Xenoverse,
Rainbow
Sims
Six
4.
Siege is still working.
Yeah, it is. This game is about all of those, all of Arnab's favorite games.
Wow.
Right, of course.
So yeah, this is the final thing that you have to take away from. Guys, whatever you take from it, just let me know your thoughts.
I
Right.
don't know, man. You guys are currently taking digs at me. You're not taking away anything from this.
You can take a dig at yourself. You do that anyway.
Play
Nico.
better games, Arnab. Yeah.
Hey, I play better games. I just don't tell you guys about it.
World of Warcraft, let's go.
Of course, I play World. Hey, I've been
Uninstall
now.
Guild Wars 2.
Hey, but
You played
no,
one
as
day
per-
with
as per Amman, I believe Guild Wars 2 is better than.
And we have picture proof of that. Like, Aman, you done
people
fucked
hack
up.
to people hack.
Yeah, sure. Hacked into.
There's no way you can prove that that happened.
Ethu, Aman.
I have the screenshots with me. Anyway,
Yeah, how do you know someone else did not sit in my chair, tie me down, and you wrote those things?
Tie you down.
try you down.
Because otherwise you won't be able to write those things.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, NPD gives a good perspective to whatever happens, like killing a lot of myths there. We should do this on every month, right? Like to basically kill all the myths that keep going on in our heads. And this leads me to the one topic where Arnab will finally shine. All right. From the NPD, Monster Hunter World, right? Capcom's niche franchise broke into mainstream late January. Within 1 month, has sold more than 6 million copies, right? And it's on its way to become the best-selling game of Capcom ever. All right, more than DMC, more than Resident Evil, more. This is if you include only one version of any game, this is the highest-selling game Capcom has ever had. All right, I find it to be nuts because of the way they handle loot boxes. Do you know how they handle loot boxes?
They don't.
Yeah, they completely skipped it.
Yeah, they don't have loot boxes at all. The president said, yeah, in Monster Hunter World, they don't have loot boxes at all.
That's interesting. I didn't know.
Yeah, so the president, the president of the company said, "This is Monster Hunter. The word has hunter. We have loot as a part of the game. Why would we want to charge you for that? We want you." While other people say that it cuts down the experience, we want you to enjoy the experience, enjoy the hunt, right? And enjoy these rare artifacts that you actually feel like you've earned after a tremendous amount of grinding. This is the reason that we are not going to charge for the loot boxes.
And it's a pretty damn good explanation as you can get. Like, okay, you're playing a game like Monster Hunter where you fight these humongous beasts, and you get armor parts, you get your loot from them, and you build your own character just like you want it. You want I don't know, an Anjanath series blade or bowgun or something. You get it by fighting it. You want
No, I want to ask something. But how are they earning money after the buy? There's no in-app.
They definitely do have DLCs which add more bosses and add more monsters, right or no?
but that's free.
That's free.
Yes.
Is there an in-game? Hey, who's playing Monster Hunter World? You are, right?
They do have micro. I started playing a bit of Hunter World.
Right. They have
yeah, but this is not. They don't have loot boxes at all.
They have
it's
direct,
not-
you just buy the whatever item you want.
No, and it's not the items you get from Hunt. You cannot get in microtransactions. It's simply cosmetics. Simply cosmetics. So the item that actually
it's kind of like how Path of Exiles they handle it.
Warframe. It's also like how
Related
Warframe
to Path of
does it.
Exile.
No. I would say Warframe still has some things that you can buy gear from off the market or of people, but Path of Exiles is completely on the cosmetic side. They don't even dwell on anything that is remotely even available via purchase.
Also,
it's purely cosmetic.
Also, from what I hear,
Yeah.
Path of Exile has some they have this every 3 months or so. They bring out a new set of content every now and then, which is free
Right.
to all the people out there.
Just like Monster Hunter, even this content that they're introducing is
Completely free.
they just brought for PS4. You can now have Alloy skin, the skin of Alloy from Horizon Zero Dawn. But instead of purchasing it, you have to beat a certain boss to unlock it, right?
Yeah, you have to fight a great Anjanath or something like that. I haven't really followed up on that quest, but it's a great Anjanath. And let's keep one thing in mind when we talk about Monster Hunter is that this game hasn't even released on PC. And
exactly.
the entire development cycle of Monster Hunter was catered towards the release of it in a Western market. So Monster Hunter's entire world's entire development cycle was like catered towards the Western market, i.e., us.
Right.
And
Wait, we are not Western, okay?
We're not
Like,
Western, first of all.
we are
but
third.
first, let's okay. When I say
No, but
Western,
yeah,
I
this,
do not
you,
even
you add this
Yeah,
incredible
I mean,
point.
we're
like,
talking about
this is-
PC games.
yeah.
But what you're saying is incredible. Like highest selling Capcom game, like without even having the support of PC so far, right? And it keeps
Yeah.
selling. So in fact, there was just few days ago where it was at 5 million. In just a matter of few days, it became 6 million. By the way, and the fact is, it is also, I think, Aman once shared the top Twitch streaming games. I think it was a number 3, if I'm not wrong, Aman.
Yeah, and I didn't. I shared the statistics for the. It was in top 5. It not top 3, but it
was
was
the
in
top
top
five,
5
yeah.
of casual stream viewers.
I think it
It was
Monster
number
Hunter-
4. It was number 4.
Yeah, I think it was.
It was number 4 after League of Legends, PUBG, Fortnite, and then
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
Monster Hunter World.
Monster Hunter
And
World.
yeah,
Because
it's a very interesting game to stream. I can understand why it is making headlines on Twitch because of the
It's a
fact
difficult
that
game. It's a very difficult game, and the gameplay is solid.
it's not even it's not difficult. I would say it's unpredictable. Like you're fighting and you suddenly get ganked by 3 different monsters. And all of these monsters are huge behemoths that can absolutely wreck your day if you're not careful enough. So it's a fun, solid experience, and it's very good for streaming. And this is the first time we are actually seeing, like, a new generation of Monster Hunter.
See,
And-
one thing I would also like to point out: this is the first time we are seeing again a MMO type game coming out, right?
Long.
I wouldn't count Destiny as an MMO type game anymore. It's just
We are not
whatever they
counting
are.
No, people,
Destiny
people
as
are
a
literally
game.
people are literally saying Monster Hunter is what Destiny should have.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Monster Hunter is full MMO, right?
It is.
Sort of.
There is a story mode. There is a single player story mode, by the way.
But you can play it with
Yeah.
friends and stuff.
Yeah, you can play.
Yeah,
with
It's
friends.
basic MMO style, which is very interesting
Yeah.
to say. I wonder if large scale MMOs will
And-
come out and we'll get news again. Remember Ratul,
Yeah.
news of this game will kill World of Warcraft.
Yeah, WoW killers.
And the most interesting thing is this. The thing is, like, you have your base hub, and it's the coziest one. You have like cats like giving you food, like making food for you, which like gives you buffs
Wait,
like, before you
did,
go out on
did
a
you
hunt.
just say cats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cats.
Yeah.
Actual
Yeah.
kittens.
And you,
Not
yeah, no,
actually.
you can have
actual cats.
you can have cat as your side partner, like as a
Yeah.
partner. You can make your own. And the thing
See,
is, like,
it's
your
an
base
anime
keeps
game.
growing.
Expect
Yeah. Your base grows.
Okay,
your
someone record that part where Aman says it's an anime game. Like, yeah, that's 10 out of 10 reference right there.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't take itself seriously. So, and your base keeps growing as you progress in the game. And another thing I want to talk about is this Capcom, which has some of the most unique IPs, by the way. If you look at Fright Ace Attorney, if you look at Devil May Cry, if you look at Mega Man, and they're just like, what this means for Capcom as a whole, because they've been reinventing their franchises as well. Like Resident Evil got a reinvention, Mega Man is coming back. They're looking at Monster Hunter as like, hey, this is a niche franchise. How do we make it more accessible and make the best Monster Hunter game ever? And it delivers, right? Unlike Square Enix, which just releases a straight up port and then says it's not popular, right?
Okay, Udit, calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Let him go,
the-
man. Let
this
him
is what
go.
this is a reason I wanted to make this opinion, because I wanted to show this as an example. And what does that mean for further Capcom games like Devil May Cry and whatever? Capcom is in a mode of reinventing all the.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aman, you can attest to that. Even Resident Evil got an overhaul. That was very well with it.
So
I believe
I
it's
want
so
to
tendency.
deviate from the thing you're talking about, and because I'm interested about the game. You said that as the story progresses, the base grows and stuff, right? In Monster
Yeah.
Hunter. So is it like can you interact with the different parts of the base? What are the mechanics? Because
Yeah,
when is the
okay,
PC game releasing?
It's
This
coming
Water
out
3.
late this year, October or August,
Yeah,
September,
yeah,
October.
sometime
This
in
is
Q3
the
or
By that
the
time-
release.
By that time, BFA will be out. I'll be playing that.
Oh yeah, same.
Oh, but imagine like two MMOs simultaneously, like World of Warcraft at night.
No.
Killer.
You'll be playing Legion. You'll be playing Legion by then.
Right.
No.
I
Why
don't.
will I be
I
playing
don't,
Legion?
I don't think
Okay,
Monster Hunter
fine.
connects.
Okay, I
I
think
think-
we're deviating, but
No,
the
yeah.
part where you said about how you can interact with it, there are different areas that open up. Like you have your, I think, playable areas like the Coral Highlands, then the Ancient
Yeah.
Forest, and all this. As you progress in your story, you unlock these areas. But the part is, as you progress, you fight harder to harder bosses. So you go from brute wyverns to flying wyverns to other types of wyverns. Then you unlock the elder dragons. Now these elder dragons are your penultimate bosses, or like, you know, the ultimate challenges you should face. But you have different types. So you take on expeditions, you take on investigations, you take on bounties, you take on research quests, all of this. You can go out to fish, you can go out to hunt smaller animals to make your own food, which will help you in a big hunt. So there is a preparation phase, then there is a, I don't know, like, you know, a traveling phase to get there, and then there's the hunt. So it's a, like, how can I say, it's a very multifaceted world where you have to interact with it in every sense possible to get the most out of it.
And there's that, but there's even smaller changes. Suppose the kitchen that you go out to for having food at the market, right? As you keep progressing, they'll have more equipments on the store. Like on the market, you'll see instead of apples, there'll be bananas. There'll be like the food categories keeps increasing, and the organic development of the place seems to keep getting more livelier as well. There's very, very small attention to detail in that game that cannot go, that is done in a way that only Japanese people can do for some. And on its the final thing I want to say, on its other spectrum, Arnab, the complete opposite to this is the practice of, I believe, Metal Gear Survive, which is everything opposite to what Monster Hunter is doing.
Yeah, basically, and ironically, it's apparently has, quote unquote, dethroned Monster Hunter World in
What?
Yeah.
Japan.
So
In Japan, in the
the-
land in which they are created.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, it's just, are you joking, or like, is this for you?
No. This has been confirmed by Game Informer. I'm pretty.
What
I
the
think.
fuck?
Yeah. Apparently, this has, like, oh my god, I can't even believe that I'm saying this, but yeah, Monster Hunter has been dethroned by a game.
But like,
that has
why?
Metal-
So is Metal Gear Survive even that good? I don't think so.
Okay, let
From
me put
whatever-
it this way.
So,
Let me put it this way. I uninstalled the beta, right?
So-
Like
so-
in the 5
so
minutes
you
of me
played the beta, right? Ratul actually
Yes.
played the game, and from whatever I heard from him, it's not a good game.
Yeah, like
That's what Arnab is saying, right?
But
I'm
like,
saying
how
it
did
has
it
been.
dethrone Monster Hunter?
I don't know. At this point, I'm willing to say that Japanese do not have a good taste in games, but that's like, yeah.
How can
That
you,
is
that's
not
something we
true.
can
That
never
Monster
contend
Hunter
because it's a
is
land that
like
gave us Dark Souls, that gave us Monster Hunter, that gave us Persona 5 and Bloodborne. Like, yeah.
It's so weird to hear that, like,
Yeah.
Monster Hunter getting dethroned by Metal Gear.
By the way, did you hear that renegade guy in Metal Gear Survive who made this code that basically said Kojima forever in the first level of the game?
Yeah.
I saw that. That was actually pretty cool.
That was
Yeah,
fun.
this is cool.
Kojima for
But it's okay.
That's-
ever.
Yeah.
And then I think he said something like he slandered the two producers.
I suppose it's just like, dude, in your home country, imagine a Shah Rukh Khan movie. I suppose Metal Gear still has that clout in it.
I
despite,
understand, but So is it like a sustaining player base in Metal Gear Survive in Japan?
I don't know about that though. That's what we have to clarify because it just released, right? So
Right.
I don't think it's gonna have a sustainable player base like the same thing about Metal.
Maybe
Monster Hunter.
if it's a one-time thing, then I can.
Right, yeah, but hold on. Like, we don't even have, like, Monster Hunter. Let's just wait until the new rumored monsters come out, and then let's see what happens to Metal Gear Survive.
See, I
Because
don't think
That's not gonna survive.
that's not up for survival anyway. Like, I think they have what, 3 or 4 new Elder Dragons up for release, and we have the series favorite Devil Joe coming back, which
Yeah.
everyone knows as the murder pickle. Like once the murder pickle comes, and yeah, let's just like no.
Yeah, so Monster Hunter World still hasn't shown all its cards yet. That's the
Nope.
best part about this game yet. It's far
Right.
from over. So yeah, so this anyway, we'll conclude this topic. But yeah, Monster Hunter World, current example of everything that we hope from in the gaming industry. Hopefully, other people take example from this game, like, and continue doing the good work.
Looking at you, EA, looking at you.
Yeah, looking at everybody basically. Anyway, so the sixth topic. Finally, we have something Indian to talk about. Apparently, Nodwin and this. How do you pronounce this company?
Smaash.
Smash.
Okay, that's a lot of smashing.
I'm the fire of Malaysia.
There's like triple A. There's like 3 A's in. All right.
Yeah.
So I
Whatever,
guess you can
so-
say they're a AAA company.
So, Smash, that's one way to become a AAA company. So Smash Games acquired around what 25% stake in
not
AFK
them
Gaming.
themselves, not them alone. Like Smash.
Them and
Nodwin.
Nodwin, and one more.
Smash
yes?
Nodwin, I think one more company together
Yeah.
invested in AFK Gaming. They bought
Was
like
it
5%.
Entity? No, not Entity. No.
No, not Entity. I think it's Nazara. I don't know. Let's not.
No,
like-
Nazara. I think got them through Nodwin. I think because Nazara
no.
has higher stake. I guess.
I am not sure. Like, but whatever.
Yeah.
There are 3 companies that bought 25% of AFK Gaming stakes, and now because of that, we kind of predicted that something might be up because AFK Gaming three weeks ago like put up job postings for 18
In
people
Mumbai, right?
in Mumbai.
right?
For 18
Yeah.
people, which is not a small number, and we were like, holy shit, where did AFK Gaming get the money from?
Yeah.
There we have our answers, right? So they got a good amount of funding, and apparently they're, according to the article I read in esports, what was the website?
Post portal.
Uh,
Esports something.
wait, I'll just get you. It is
Esports Central, I think.
Esports Central, yeah.
Yeah, Esports Central wrote an article on this, and apparently not AFK Gaming's valuation is on the higher 6-digit number. So which means if I had to guess, it's in 70-80 lakh valuation right now, which is pretty good for a company which basically started out like Asidcast, right?
Pretty
Whereas Asidcast went dormant 2 years back, they kept continuing, they kept doing their own thing, and it's really good to see them come so far, and hopefully we get to see more action from them. And it's really interesting to see what they will be doing, because most of the job postings that we saw in the website are not related to writers or content creators, but more attuned towards
Development.
developers, which is interesting, I would say. We don't know why they're hiring it. We don't have information, but it's definitely interesting to see such things happening in the Indian gaming scene. So yeah, I don't think I don't think previously we had Indian blogs or portals, online portals that started get funded like this. So it's a first.
Would you ever take a fund by anybody if any?
I don't think so.
Okay, why would that be?
Yeah, I think that's preferences. Depends on like where you want the company to head. What is your vision? Again, I have very little idea of what AFK Gaming is even going to be doing, because with the developers they're hiring, and I don't think a lot of people outside the people who are working with these people know right now. So it'll be interesting to see and look out for, I guess. And it's definitely nice to know that Indian companies are getting funded and they're hiring manpower, and like that is one of the ways they're spending the capital they have gained, which is going to at the end of the day help, regardless of whether something successful happens to AFK Gaming or not, right? Because it is distributing money into the marketplace, and
Definitely.
yeah, if you know
Hopefully-
economics, this helps at the end of the day.
This
So,
helps
yeah.
all of us
Yeah.
in the end. Someday we're gonna get paid. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing I'm taking out of this. No, you got anything else to add?
Same. Like all I hear are greens, and like greens are always good.
And
No-
with
no
that,
pun
we have
intended.
with that, Okay, I got it now.
Good.
We've completed all our topics by the way, guys. It's over. It's
Wow.
all over. Yeah, that was quick, right?
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, bye. Thanks. Just kidding. We didn't do one more thing. Hello.
Yeah, which is sell a product. I don't think we'll do. So last time Aman did this whole thing where it just shifted back to recommend your product or whatever. I guess we should go back to that, I suppose, because it tends to get a little competitive where things go on, unless you want to do the sell a product thing. For you.
I'm
Do you
really
guys
bad.
want to?
I'm really bad with selling stuff.
Yeah, okay, so let's just recommend where everybody just recommends something. It can be a game, a movie, or anything, by the way. So Aman, why don't you go first?
World of Warcraft.
Hey,
Good. Ratul, what about you?
that was my choice. Damn it. Okay, now, what the hell? That was my choice. Now I got to think of something. So give me some time to go last while you two guys recommend.
Arnab, yeah, Arnab, go recommend something and also tell us why you recommend.
A
Why
World
am I
of Warcraft retail edition from Games the Shop.
You know what? To be honest, yeah, basically.
Yeah. Okay, let me continue from where I said, let off. If you are a Blizzard fanboy, buy all the retail CDs that are available in Games the Shop right now, because they come with a lot of goodies. Like, they're not like your regular PC CD boxes where you just get the box and there's just a CD inside.
Yeah,
Not like that. You
yeah,
will get a lot of stuff.
They give the whole
stuff.
CD basically.
No, they
I
give
mean,
a lot of stuff.
the
Like with
physical-
World of Warcraft.
Like they give the cards and everything else with that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. With World of Warcraft, I got like a quick start guide. I got like a 250-page manual on the World of Warcraft, right? Like different races, different professions, the lore. So if you're a nerd and if you're into gaming and if you're into Blizzard games, now is a good time. They have started selling Blizzard copies 3-4 months ago. I think since last year. And before them, retail copies games weren't available. I remember coming to Kolkata back in 2004-5 simply to be able to buy a Warcraft 3 boxed edition, which were massive back then inside.
Yeah,
It was
I
like
remember.
massive.
It was like
Yeah.
like a dictionary, like the old school encyclopedias.
Yeah. You got like books with it, you got maps, you got a lot of things. And
Wait, do they?
you will get similar.
Does Games Shop
Yeah.
still sell those?
I don't know if they're selling the old copies, but I have seen like the World of Warcraft I bought from me and Arnab, like the retail copy. It's just when I bought it, it was just $500, right? And we got like a 250-page manual. We got free Hearthstone cards, different a quick start guide, 4 CDs with the different looking CD covers. It's just a treat to see boxes like these again. After such a long time. Like, I used to collect physical discs,
Nice.
and for the longest time you didn't have anything like that. So I'm totally down for like buying more of similar copies of different games.
I
from,
really
Blizzard,
want to buy
Games the Shop.
I really want to buy the old school Warcraft 3 NFQS box because that thing was massive. My brother's friend actually had that, and I want to.
I don't think you'll get it again, but like those were the best.
Well, I'll wait for the remastered box then. It's okay.
I remember buying Warcraft 3 and Diablo 2 boxes, right? And they were huge. Diablo 2, I remember, was
Diablo
fat as hell.
Diablo 2 was fat, but it wasn't as big as the Warcraft one.
Yeah, but it was fat and it had a huge manual.
Exactly, yeah.
It had the entire lore of Tristram. Oh, those bring back good memories. So I'm just recommending, if you are in India, if you're watching this podcast,
Games the
if
Shop.
you are into Blizzard games,
that's
Blizzard,
that's Aman's recommendation.
Yeah.
Rats, have you thought about yours?
No, I'm still thinking about it. I don't know whether I said Yume.
Okay, so,
Wait, did I say Yumeniki in the previous one? I have no idea.
No, you didn't say Numenic. I think you did. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, rip.
So let me go then till that time. So I'm gonna suggest this documentary movie which is there on Netflix called The 13th. I remember I watched it at 2 a.m. last night and I was so traumatized. I asked Aman to immediately watch it. Again, it talks about the 13th Amendment in the U.S. government, which basically abolished the slavery law back in 1865, saying that slavery is no longer going to be tolerated. But there was a loophole there like provided they are not criminals, all right? And then it goes on to say in the way America manipulated the media and everything to basically chastise. So because before 1865, black people were slaves, okay, no doubt about that. But after that, after the slavery law was abolished, these guys were free, but there was a huge economic gap for America because they had nobody to do the work. All right, and they needed to fill that up. So they needed to find a legal way around it to get these people to work again. So they provided that flaw, like provided these are criminals. So in that way, it shows how America, like, sort of, it's so sad that they manipulated ways to show black people as criminals to put them back in jail and have them work get back to working basically the same way. So it shows, like, in 2000 how America as a country is less than 5% population, but more than 25% people in their prisons. All right, and it gets worse. All right, so the whole it also explains how the left became more and more closer to the center, because it wasn't until the 70s, during the era of Nixon, where they really started making this feel like a war on drugs, when the war on drugs basically became a thing. That happened in Ronald Reagan era. But the thing was, there was so much disparity that they went more hard on crack, which was cheap and black people had it, than on cocaine. So these guys put all the everything that the black people had, so whatever they could do to get them in prison. All right, and these were working because the racism that was brought in mainstream media to show them as the bad people was working. The mass hysteria that they created was working, but it was all driven for an economic purpose. All right, and the left, the Democrats, noticed that these hard things were getting the votes, the Republicans. So when Bill Clinton came, he had to be more hard, closer to the center to appeal that, and so he created this stronger police order, right? Which didn't help anything, which only worsened the matters. And so when Obama's case didn't help, and Donald Trump was going up against him, and it was Hillary Clinton who was up against that person, people still had that paranoia. She was the one who supported the law, which basically screwed over all the colored people. So there was no support from the colored people against Donald Trump. This was the reason why it basically gives you a huge, puts everything into perspective for you. And you notice that this is not a thing that happened in the past. It's something that is continuing happening, but it's not black people anymore, but it's colored. But it just goes to show you the history that black people went through. They went through 300 years of unpaid labor, for which America owes them around $15 to $16 trillion. All right. Whereas Germany, which did a heinous act of the genocide, pretty much repaid all of that. And they have acknowledged it, and they take steps to, make sure that doesn't happen. America does not even acknowledge this as a thing that they're doing, and it's such a saddening thing. And if you guys actually see this, it's going to traumatize you just the way it traumatized me. So that's my recommendation. I hope everybody sees this.
Why do you want to traumatize people?
Yeah, man. What kind of a sicko are you?
People have to learn this as a fact. By the way, did you guys know that there was Black Panthers was actually a group there that was like fighting?
Right? I know about the Black Panther group.
Yeah. So
I'll take you up on that topic because I know this. A lot of people picketed theaters in US because they thought Black Panther was propagating terrorism and militant activity, which is
and the hilarious part is the Black Panthers. Those group weren't even that big. It was J. Edgar, who FBI agent, portrayed them as a threat. By the way, they were nothing. They were not anywhere close to like taking on the whole America.
Right.
Funny. Yeah, so I recommend people to watch it because it gives you a whole perspective of the 400 years of culture, which, is not pretty, but it definitely needs to be noticed. Yeah. What else? Arnab?
Haven't really delved into anything this week, so I can't really suggest anything, but been having a lot of fun with World of Warcraft, so I'll just back up Aman with whatever he said. Like, go buy that, and please join us. Like, we are trying to form a guild or something.
We'll be forming a 40-man raid group soon.
Yes.
40-man raid groups are back in battle for Azeroth?
We'll call it the Black Panthers.
Will it be a political commentary on?
No, we'll call it the Royal Bengal Tigers. Best.
Oh my.
Yeah, Bengal Tiger. Yeah. So Rats, have you finally
Yes, I have, and you're going to love it because it actually links with the caption of today's podcast.
Yeah.
Boy. Yeah, so I did play the Final Fantasy demo on PC a couple of days back on the Nvidia Facebook page, and I loved the game. The graphics were good. Ansel was amazing. The characters are lovable. Holy shit! Like, damn, all of them have their own sense of humor. It's really fun. Like, I think some of the characters can be relatable, and the others, they've got those cool hairstyles and shit. So my recommendation, I think the chat's already guessed it, Final Fantasy 15 on the PC. It's coming out next week. I am super excited for it. I want to play that game. I want to be, properly, get into the story of that game. And I can't wait.
You're gifting me that, right?
I'm sorry, what?
Right.
I might be hosting a giveaway, so you heard it here first. So you guys, everybody can
We'll
take
be
part.
taking that giveaway, so
The one thing I love about Final Fantasy 15 is it's the coziest open world game that you can play. Where the fun thing about that open world that makes it feel more alive is the people that surround you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If it gets nice, they comment of how late it is, and their banter is just so relatable. It makes the whole thing feel like much of an experience, like a one-time experience. Especially the starting that happens is not typical for a fantasy game. Especially Final Fantasy, where you're just pushing a car.
Yeah, exactly. That's what got to me. Like it starts off with them leaving the empire and all that stuff, and you expect, okay, fine, they're probably going to get into like a first badass quest. No, they're pushing a car, and it kind of slowly draws you in to the game, with all their conversations and stuff like that, which is actually pretty cool, and I enjoyed it.
Right. So there's a lot to take in, and before, just to add to the suggestion. If you're ever going to watch Final Fantasy, play Final Fantasy, make sure you watch these two things first. You have to watch King's Glaive, Final Fantasy, which is a movie that happens before the start of the game and explains a lot of what happens back in the kingdom. Otherwise, you're going to be completely confused. And watch The Brotherhood, which is an anime. It's available for free. It gives basically backstories of all the three other bros and how they tie into Noctis and what relation they have. It just enriches the experience a lot. But it is absolutely essential that you watch them. And this causally leads us to the final topic of a podcast, which is predictions. Now that we know that it's going to release, Final Fantasy 15 is going to release on March 6th on Steam, I want you guys to give a number on what do you think the sales will be.
Wait, in the Indian market or just in general the global?
In the global. Get the global.
The Indian market would have been easier, damn it.
Okay, fine. If it's easier, say the Indian market then.
Alright. Actually, no, fuck it, I'll just go with the global. So, I'm guessing 10 million?
I see around
10 million.
5 to 7 million.
5 to 7 million.
Yeah.
You think that's a lot. You think it's gonna do that much?
Given the hype? Yeah. Probably. But lifetime sales. Are you talking about first week sales or something like that?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. First week sales.
First week sales will hit probably like 500k or a million. But yeah,
okay.
we'll see that.
Lifetime. You're saying 500k of sales and 5 to 7 million lifetime.
Yeah. Generally.
Okay. Rats?
I would say around first week sales might. Sorry about that. First week sales will be around the same number what Aman gave, 500k to a million, and lifetime sales would be around 10 to 12 million.
Okay, 10 to 12. Arnab, what do you think about?
First week sales 750,000 and lifetime would be 8 million.
Okay. Just to give you a perspective, Square Enix expects a sales of 2 million lifetime.
What? Wow, I thought.
But we'll see. We'll see the first week sales of next week. We'll keep a track of it, and I'll let you know who.
One question: do they not play their own games?
They don't, because if they did, they would have made a good Chrono Trigger. All right. Okay. So that concludes the topic. But that concludes all the topics. Thanks for tuning in, guys, for 13th podcast. Guys, if you want to say bye to our audience, say.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys, and please like our page, follow us, share this podcast if you like it, and do leave your feedback in the comments below. So signing up. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
All right. Rats on up. Do it. Do you the honors.
Arnab, you first, fam. Because I'm gonna plug in like a little bitch afterwards.
Peace out, homeboys.
Alright.
Okay, that was it.
Oh, my turn?
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, love, wow, react, Asidcast thing. And also, I'm going to be playing 20xx with Udit on my Facebook page.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do that.
So, yeah, make sure you guys.
Yeah, on
In
that
half an
very
hour
note-
actually.
On
In
that
half an
very
hour
note,
actually.
Yeah.
on that very note, after you guys are done, Aman, we are doing the World of Warcraft stream. Just us.
We will do that tonight, like from
Yes.
8, I guess.
Yeah, so going to be playing 20xx with Udit in like half an hour to an hour's time. Because I am hungry, I want to eat something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely.
That's it, guys.
Yeah.
Go.
Pretty much that's about it. Don't forget to follow us all. Share this podcast. Join the Discord group. It's in the pinned comment. And yeah, join us in the further discussions and stuff.
That's it. See you next time, next week, same time, hopefully. Mostly not. But yeah, see you.
No, not the same time. Not this time, please no.
And not this time.
Earlier.
Earlier. Yeah, we plan to do this earlier. But anyway, thanks for joining in. Your support means a lot. Like later. And go play Monster Hunter World. Bye.
Peace out, nerds.